Cultural and Natural Heritage Day, and it falls on June 11 this year. We are starting our program from Suzhou, and today we will have a tour here to give you enjoy and a big feast of the cultural and natural heritage. And the place where I'm now is also the World Heritage Site, and also is listed on UNESCO. And we're not here to travel, and we bring you a very special silk tapestry, also named Kesi. So looking at this is inside of this UNESCO site, and also bring you this fun traditional silk art of China. To all the viewers, hello to you all. And right now we are here in Suzhou Traditional Garden, and also to give you a look and a feel about the cultural travel. And we talk about the Kesi, that's also known as the Chinese silk tapestry. And you're looking at this is a fine and really good for summer actually, and also very lightweight and beautiful. So that also made of this Kesi. So talk about the Suzhou. We know this is a big city with well-known the intelligence or the intangible cultural heritage. So that's including that the more than 6 items inscribed on UNESCO, and also we have more than 30 items on the national level. So we talk about Kesi, you can think about that's a technique in Chinese silk tapestry, and also is quite similar as the carving. And also looking at the finished work, you could see that actually it's very vivid. So it's a tapestry weave, normally using silk on a small scale compared to European wall hangings. And you're looking at this is also initially used for a small piece, and also you could see that from the back. And this is not finished yet, so you could see that there are a lot of these weeds, knots. And when all the work finished, and will be cut off, so will be a very clean finishing. Right now you're looking at it, this is our masters. So we talk about Mr. Fine. It's the master in this world. So also Kesi means cut silk, as the technique uses a short lengths of a weft thread that are tucked into the textile. You're looking at this one. This is the finished work. You're looking at the front and the back, or you talk about the left and the right. That's all the same pattern. But let's bring this work under the spotlight with very strong lighting. So we put the light at the back, so you could see that there are some shining in point. So that's really shining little point. That means that we change the knot. We change that the thread, so that could see that's a little glittering point. Do you know how many colors were used? For this very small piece of work, we used more than 50 colors. Some part is a single color, and some part is actually a mixture of 3 colors. So looking at this is really a vivid painting, but it's not a painting, it's a silk work. And also you could see that, you could look at that the hair of this maid, you could see that a color from dark to gray. So it used the multiple colors to achieve this effect. And also you're looking at the eyes. We also use the one single line, a single thread to highlight the eyes, to also make that a very beautiful curve. So if you put this small piece of work under the very strong lights, you can find more details. That's really subtle details. And also here we could see that a phoenix tree leaf. And fine, actually this one used for a queen for the royal family. And also you're looking at this is not a 2D type, but they're actually looking at this fine is 3D shape. We talk about it's fine, so we talk about the big row is that to produce very strong wind, right? So this is also fine for the court. So we talk about the 科司. We have preliminarily seen a lot of a work for the royal family, for the imperial family. And also you're looking at here with a little line, and also with a lucky cloud, fish, and also a bat. That all means that good luck, very good fortune. So you're looking at with a different pattern. That means the officials for different rankings. And also here we could see a very big piece here. And this is the Imperial robe. And this is from Ming Dynasty. And we also duplicated this piece based on the excavation work. So this is a really large piece of the robe. So it actually need 5 masters to make this piece for 3 years. So this is really the piece for 3 years. We know that the like other West brocade and the Equus work actually was woven from separate rope bobbins, so making the style both technically demanding and time-consuming. And we also talk about Imperial robe. Of course, everything that premium should be used for this piece. So I believe that use the 18K gold thread. So 5 masters of Guqin, the Chinese silk tapestry, spent 3 years to finish this large piece. And this is once again the Imperial robe from Ming Dynasty. And also you could see that we also got the extract from a peacock. Further, so we could see that a golden thread, peacock's feather. So you're looking at the color of the dragon from a different angles. You could see different colors. So we talk about the peacock feather is actually very short hair. So you need to tie and different feathers together to make the thread. And it's also time consuming to make that thread first. So we talk about looking at that dragon pattern that's actually made by this peacock feather thread. So you're looking at, there are so many different fabrics involved, and we talk about different fabric reflects a cutting edge technique owned by the masters and also the premium fabric and also material involved. Madame is the inheritor of this national heritage technique. You're looking at here, we is highlighting the different colors of that silk yarn or silk thread. So it reflects that really vivid color, really fresh color. It's not painting, but it's used silk yarn. And also, this piece represents Suzhou and presented at Beijing Olympic Games. So this Chinese silk tapestry, also named Kesi, is an essence of Chinese traditional silk art. So it's used a gold thread to really make this popped up and it glittering. So maybe let me have a try. We know that this is really the traditional weaving machine, and this is the weaving machine for Kesi. We talk about if you're looking at this whole form of the machine, more or less like the other machine for weaving. But the quite a big different thing is the silk knot thread and also the bobbins. So you use the silk here, and this is a bobbin. So you could see that we use these to help you to weave the silk yarn into the whole work. We talk about silk yarn actually also with quite a good resilience. So when you bring one line of the silk yarn into the whole piece, you need to, after putting that additional line into it, you need to tidy it up, make sure that all the silk lines really tight stayed to each other. So this is a really close look and feel and touch of Kesi. And we talk about, although it's a traditional art form, but it also have that in a modern translation. So looking at these bags. So for Kesi itself, it can be really soft, but it also can be really resilient and hard. So it can make in different pattern. And we talk about this and the Chinese pointy. So for a smaller piece of items and also the large piece of item, it all can introduce Kesi tape, a silk tapestry into your work. You're looking at your furniture, you're looking at your bag. So I believe that Kesi pattern bring additional highlight to your family and also bring the warmth and beauty to your home. And Mr. Fan is also a promoter of a traditional art technique of Kesi. And Mr. Fan brings a lamp to us. And this is also a prize winner in Milan. And you're looking at this material. So actually, we melt metal wine into the silk yarn. So you're looking at actually we create a new material. So we talk about this is wholly made by hand. So we create this new material. We melt silk, that metal wire into the silk yarn to make this really beautiful material, and also go very good with the lamp. And also we bring the Kesi into different materials. And also to bring Kesi, this is traditional cultural heritage, also in a modern language. So we talk about it's not only the fine tradition, it is traditional silk art, but also to bring you something new, align with the time. And looking at, there are also a lot of the masters right now making the different pieces. And also looking at here, we invite the different masters to make all these small pieces so that to really educate the public to know more about how we produce Kesi pattern. So it's very easy hand-on if you want to try a little bit. So for the very smaller piece, you learn 2 or 3 times, you can make a very smaller one. So here we are at the Suzhou garden, and we also hope that to use today is the Chinese Cultural and the National Heritage Day. We hope to use this day to promote and appreciate Chinese traditional silk art. to let more people to understand and enjoy the beauty of cultural and natural heritage, especially all these cultural heritage items. And also we hope to provide very easy access to people and to invite them to the world of intelligence, the intangible cultural heritage. And also because it's just the starter, and I hope from this traditional silk art form to bring and promote this fun tradition. And let's go to our second stop. To all the viewers, welcome to our second stop. And today is China's Cultural and Natural Heritage Day. Right now we are here in Luzhou, in Sichuan province. And also this is the place where I born and grew up. So as a local people, I really want to show you this landmark. And it smells so good because this is a wine factory. It's a very famous wine products here in Sichuan. So we call this national treasure. In 1996, the clusters of the A1 ports come to a national level, and also the way of brewing wines also become a national level intelligence cultural heritage. So let's go inside to find out what's inside. So looking at all these roads, actually looking at all these bricks, the roads from Ming Dynasty. And also you're looking at here, this is a really large open, that big space. So here is more than 154 these brewing sites. And the oldest one is in the middle. That's from 1,500, and that's more than 400 years ago. So you're looking at all these ponds, or that's all these the wine making sites. That's more than 400 years. It's traveled so long time, but still you're looking at still brewing wines and produce really good taste wine. So there are more than tens of millions of microorganisms involved inside a different wine pond, and also for each pond that's also in its prime time. So to all the viewers, we also invite not the inheritor, and also the gentleman is also the inheritor of this wine brewing technique. So looking at all this steam, and also we could see that right now this all these dealers grains. And also we could see that after we brew the wine and we put the grain inside, you steam to heat the wine. And the smell of the wine actually was brought by the steam. And we just got the front stage. So talking about wine or alcohol, we talk about in three stages. So very beginning, we got a front stage, and we also bring that to the iced port. And then we also try to extract the middle stage wine. So first, I show our viewers, once again, this is more than 400 years of age. But still, this is a younger one, built in 1593, at 432 years ago. Looking like the wall of this pond, it's not that smooth. So we actually kept and preserved the original look. So based on the terrain and also based on investment, the size of the pond was made. So you could see that's why it's different in the size of the pond. So we talk about the size of the pond, actually that depends on the quantity of grain and also the level of investment. And here we're looking at on this table as all the quality alcohol. And this one we just got it. This once again we talk about that's a front stage alcohol. That's a distilled. So that's just a distilled alcohol. That's the first stage. Once again we talk about that the first stage alcohol will be also used again for the later process of making the alcohol. And also in the middle, that's a middle stage. And the original, we talk about a lot of that, the finished alcohol actually all from this second stage. And we talk about when we got the second stage of alcohol, don't really rush to taste it. It's not coming to its best time to enjoy it. And then we also got a third stage. So once again, we talk about the three stages of alcohol. So the front stage, middle stage, and the late stage. So we talk about actually this is just the whole area is full of this alcohol smell. So it's really a mellow alcohol smell and also a smell of grains. So smell it. So when I smell it, you know that smell really coming to my head, and also hope you could see my hair or just standing up, like zip a little bit. So once again, this is the first stage, alcohol. So talk about the smell of the first stage. Alcohol is really rich taste. So it's more like really spirit, very, very strong. And we talk about that the first stage, alcohol will also involve in the next process of making alcohol. So it's not really involved in the finishing products. We talk about the first stage, alcohol actually with very strong taste and smell, not really good for tasting, but that's really good for making good wine for the next stage. And we're coming to the middle stage of alcohol. So believe it or not, I really taste that a smell of mud. So we talk about that the alcohol should be aged above 50 years old. So we talk about there are a lot of that different microorganisms involved in it. So we could talk about that. For this one, there are a lot of that solid state fermentation. And also this is a distiller's draft. So this is the V9s. So we talk about this is really, really strong taste and also different flavor, because it's after a different stage of the fermentation. So through different fermentation, especially along with the times, so that's really bring you the different taste. And also we talk about that's the V9s that's coming from the bottom of the pond. So that's also have additional layer of the mud. And that's compared to the A3 stage of alcohol. You're looking at this is the tail stage or the last stage. It's not that really crystal clear. And also that's including the high boiling point items. We talk about not the first stage alcohol will be invested to the next step of the A1 processing, and the middle stage will be storage for a quite a period of time to wait for the wine coming to its best time to enjoy, and also for the late stage wine. Will be also used for the wine processing. And for this color, in a little bit the brownish color, So you can understand this as a ferment, very sour. It's taste of enzymes. It's like taste of vinegar, but with a flair of alcohol. And also we talk about these enzymes also will put back to the pond for fermentation purpose. Once again, you're looking at that this is a pond for making alcohol. You're looking at this pond is to brew alcohol, but it's also a habitat place for microorganisms. So we also need to make sure that the home for microorganisms should be really stable and also friendly living place. So you're looking at this is actually for each pond is like a different community or a different compound. So here's 154 ponds. Here is like 154 communities. So different community has their different taste, smell. That depends on the quantity of the organism clusters. So we talk about the pond. They have their own characteristics. That means the taste and smell. And also inside, we talk about the different the strain or bacteria, and it depends on different quantity of the strain that also give you the different taste. So let's see how we put. First, that's the V9s. So we talk about V9s. Actually, that's a bottom alcohol. So we talk about actually OD's pond not really run 24/7 throughout the year. We also actually give that pond like 2 days off, so that we talk about that the way we also cultivate. And also to maintain and to bring the alcohol, water, the nutrient to the organisms stationed inside this pond. So we talk about the pond you're looking at here, actually they waste lives over that 400 years. All these lives actually living inside this pond, generation after generation. We talk about the pond, although that's age above 400 years, but you're looking at still in its prime time because still a living pond. We talk about that. It's really, really hard to preserve one pond. We talk about that. And also need to make sure that microorganisms actually stay strong and healthy inside different pond. We talk about you're looking at over the past 400 years, we have created very enabling environment. to let these microorganisms stay very comfortable inside this pond. You're looking at this pond, this alcohol pond, more than 10 billion or 100 billion of microorganisms living inside this pond. So we talk about that a technique handover, not only that technique should be handed over to the next generation. We also talk about how to really use your patient, use your skills, use your knowledge to preserve the pond, how to protect and care about all the microorganisms inside different pond. And here looking at this is grains that also the key materials used to brew alcohol. So it's like a big ball upside down, or it's like a butter cake. So different way of laying grains also means that the grains play different roles. So they are not just the same grain, they not really play the same role. So every time 1/4 of the grain will be thrown and they will not used for the next brewing process, the remaining the grains will add a new grain to make alcohol. So 3/4, and then the 3/4 of these 3/4. So we're looking at that this grain, if you think about that, this actually could be used as the remaining 3/4, and the round after another round could be used for many, many rounds of alcohol processing. And we talk about the grain, and if the lucky one that always stayed in that 3/4, we talk about the grain actually could be, the age of that grain could be much elder than us. We talk about the taste of malt. So is the original taste or is the alcohol taste? So we talk about this is the original malt, but actually the color and touch all changed, but also you could see that the glittering color. Again, here, a lot of microorganisms. It smells very, very nice. This is the ripe alcohol taste. Still, we talk about even that's a hand size of a mud is still a treasure. So we should bring that mud back to the pond. So let's show our viewers. This is a really, really huge space of alcohol making factories. And here is 54 alcohol ponds with an average age of 400 years. All these are living cultural heritage. We talk about here with us the 23rd and 24th interiors. And also here we have that the assigned person as the keeper of each pond. So looking at all these factories, you're looking at the walls, the bricks, and also the road here. You're looking at all these colors. Actually, the original look and feel is original color. Looking at all these, the bricks. Actually, this is all from that very old age. So here we actually keep to make sure that we not really touch or clean the whole environment, because we talk about this is a very enabling environment for microorganisms to live inside. And we talk about for all the grains, for all the alcohols, actually with all these years of more than 400 years that have proven that this is the perfect environment to make quality alcohol. And also to give our viewers a bigger picture, just starting from this factory, and to give our viewers that the aerial look of this whole place. And also you could see that the old town. And you could also, by the end of this footage, you also can see the Yangtze River. We talk about the cultural heritage, we talk about the natural heritage, and not just the heritage itself stand alone. You're looking at this factory, actually it's in the cities. We're also looking at this also that also got the nutrient from culture, from literature, and also from the people living here. It has its deeper rooted here in this place, but also the nutriented by this whole place. So it seemed like the living part is full of really the dynamics we talk about is over 400 years in age, but it's still in its prime time. We talk about the cultural and natural heritage. It's not a thing in the past. It's not really something only in the museum. It can be actually in part of our life. But all these heritage actually can live in together with us. So bring life to the cultural and natural heritage, and also to protect and preserve well of all these heritage items. That's coming to our next stage. To all the viewers, right now we are here in our third stop of today's live streaming, and this is Hangzhou of Zhejiang province. And looking at here, you could find that this is also all decorated in copper material, and this is also a very big place of a copper sculpture. And also with us is Mr. Zhu, a master of copper sculpture technique. So a lot of pieces here are actually made by Mr. Zhu. And here you're looking at, this is a living place for like a apartment room. So looking at, this is a room of copper sculpture. A lot of these, the architecture frame actually is the same like the framework in the southern China, but it's in different materials. You're looking at zodiac. This year is the year of tiger. So also you could see that the zodiac pattern also decorated in this room of copper sculpture. So every year before the Chinese Spring Festival, Mr. Zhu creates a small piece of the year of zodiac to bring good luck to the visitors. So we talk about that zodiac as part of Chinese culture, and also here you could see that we talk about Forbidden City. That's very typical. The architecture form. So a lot of things you have seen in the Forbidden City, and we also bring that into this place. That's not in the wooden material. We also actually have taken the reference of the Forbidden City's architecture logic, but in the copper material. We talk about for the officials, of course, they need this kind of seal that represents their hierarchy. But we talk about originally that is a really small size. But here, actually looking at it, it's a different shape and a different experiment reflected in the copper seal. And here, this is a living room of the folk house, looking at the ceiling and also looking at the furniture. Really a typical reflection of the architecture style in southern China. And also here we have a painting. And this is created for Bao Forum for its 20th anniversary. And here we talk about that because forum, the Borough Forum venue is located near to Wanquan, as we talk about, as kind of that the tens of thousands of the rivers And we talk about you could see that's the different rivers by the end converge into sea. So that's copper technique plus painting. So we could find a lot of different cooperation or the crossover between copper technique and other cultural or art forms. And a place here so originally belonged to the southern zone. And the capital of southern zone actually located here. So here also actually is influenced by a Song culture. So you could see a lot of the Song style, a wash painting. Right now, also you're looking at that's the corporate with copper. So we studied a lot of a feature of a wash painting from Song dynasty. So looking at it, it's very simple painting, but with very rich meaning inside. So the back color is not actually painted. Actually, it's also burnt color. So you could really, if you look into the details, you could find that a texture of that a burnt material as the base color. And also at the top, we also use copper to give more glittering effect. So we talk about that we want to promote and also to carry forward these traditional art forms. We talk about the copper sculpture is one of the traditional art form, but we also think about how that can cooperate with other form of art so that can bring new lives and new connotations to the traditional art form. And looking at here, it's very, very vivid and also in a very natural way, very simple. So simple lines, but also tell a very magnificent story. We talk about like a bronzeware that made in a different mold. But if you're looking at a copper work, you're looking at that this is actually the work with melt copper. So you could tell this flags, but you're looking at actually in a different flag shape because it's not used the same mold to make all these flag. Actually, we talk about these melt copper actually to make this kind of shape by itself very naturally. So you could see that in different shape and also in the different colors, slightly different in colors. But we talk about all these actually is not made in the same mold. So you could see as a really natural piece. So talk about that. A copper originally is a copper sculpture, and right now you also could see at the mouth copper piece. You could see that actually looking at the different works, you could tell that's also a history of the copper technique development. And this is the copper bridge. The original piece right now is displayed in Taiwan region. And also we make a very giant seal to celebrate the initiative of the Grand Canal. And here you also can find a different pagoda, so different architecture as the original inspiration. And we also make a copper a piece based on different a pagoda. And we talk about the melt copper. So we talk about the melt, which means in certain degree you could not really control it. But we also need to control the way of melting because we want to make a piece of work, right? So I use melt copper to make the beast hat or the animal hat. So that's very famous items in Yuanmingyuan. And we talk about not a wall painting. It's not the original wall painting form in a copper way. So the first copper wall painting found in the Putuo Mountain. So we talk about that copper plus painting. So looking at this place is also a national recognized base to promote the copper technique. So we talk about in older days that a copper work still in a very small scale. And later on, you could see that actually copper actually can make a very large piece of work. It's not only rely on copper, that also there's a copper plus other strong material. So you could really make a larger size work. So still may think that a copper technique or copper works far from our daily life, but here looking at this room, that's something actually you can find to see in your day-to-day life. So that's a small goods furniture for display at home. There's also the copper works. So all these work quite loved by young generation. So this is a scenario, and the original story actually found in a painting. And here you can see that actually we bring that 2D painting into this 3D scenario. And also you're looking at the leaf actually all made by that melt copper. You're looking at this is really vivid. So that's the pine needles. That's the pine leaves, really like its original look and feel. And also here you could find that a tradition in Song Dynasty, like a flower arrangement and instrument playing, and all these actually not only reflect a culture in Song Dynasty, but also actually used in a copper technique. So looking at actually this is really vivid because it's in the different layers as well. So looking at this material, some material actually is we talk about that's a slag. After the copper melt, we talk about melt copper actually used in a lot of different material in different lot of pieces, but also we found that the slag or a drag of that melt, the copper also can be used. Still, we talk about we want to keep its original look and feel. So you could see that we talk about there's no mold to make the copper piece. We talk about all different shapes. Actually, we just keep as what it is. But still looking at this is very naturally go along with other pieces. So this is really a delicate small goods of furniture. So this is actually really popular among the travelers. So we actually very welcome that travelers to take photos And also you can touch all these works. We talk about copper is not that fragile. And also we could see something that actually we can use in our day-to-day life. We talk about there's a one big theme where that's a one big initiative we have is like to bring copper back home. So looking at all these, the teapot, plate. This is all handmade piece. Looking at a lot of pattern here, it's really natural formed. So if you look back in history, in the old ancient days, actually people used the copper-made pot to make drinking water. And there are different, a copper pot in different shape, in different color, and also in different pattern as well. So for the very famous pattern or painting that Old introduced and incorporated as a pattern highlighted at the outside of this port. So you could find that a vast line as a very key feature from Tang Dynasty. That actually is sculpture at the outside of the port. And also inside this room, actually, the viewers can get a very close look, and also they can hands-on to feel how to make a copper sculpture. And also very little kids also can hands-on to make their very first piece of a copper sculpture. So looking at this, actually, if you listen to the sound, and also looking at how to make a pattern onto the copper work. So here you're looking at that sculpture work. And it's Mr. Wang. So what pattern are you making? And right now this is on the tea plate. You need to first choose a piece of copper, and it is already burnt, so you could see that in color black. And first you need to polish it, and this is after we polish it, you could find that's a very smooth working phase. So you put that plate on this working station. You could see that there's a circle on it. So this better put it inside. And of course, this is just the entry level work. So you could find this is the plate mode. So we talk about that you can make it that stronger, or you can choose your own pattern, and also the shape, and also can be in different round shape. Make sure that you knock it evenly. So why you knock it in a circle? So if you put in one side and then to another side, it cannot be that very even distributed in shape. So we talk about that. You need to consider that in a bigger picture, so you know exactly that which part you need to have a stronger force, which part you think is okay, no need a further knock. So here you need to first lock the plate. So for the edge part, that's the first knocking place. And also for the force, don't go very strong at the very beginning. You can be soft at the beginning and then can be very strong and powerful knock later on. We talk about it's copper, but it's still metal, so it's very stiff. So we talk about, so just keep knocking. We see a little bit shape, a little bit curve, but still need that strong power. But still depends. If someone really like the flat plate, then you just use very soft force. It's okay. And then for the if we want the pattern inside, what do we need? We talk about the cutting, or you can also call it the sculpture. It's like what I was done. So let me see. We have this kind of knife, or the cutter. That's a different tools we have to make a different shape of that pattern. Let's go to check Mr. Yang's work. Miss Yang is doing a larger part pattern, right? And right now we're looking at this is a mascot of Asian Games. Mr. Yang right now working on this page. Actually make the a paper of that pattern first, and then place a paper above the copper plate. And this is Mr. Yang's 10th year of learning copper. We talk about it's easy to hands-on, but really hard to own the skills. So we're talking about one pattern. So looking at this is how we hold the tool. So use your 3 fingers to hold. And then to follow the lines. And make sure that you don't hold the cutters too tight. Otherwise, actually, you cannot really make the cutter moving. And also for knocking, and make sure that your force also is actually distributed evenly. Otherwise, you could find your lines actually not really that beautiful and smooth. Of course, you need to just practice, practice, and practice. And this is a finished work. So for this kind of work, how long does it take? So it's around 4 hours. But that's for Mr. Yang's standard, the person with 10 years experience. So we talk about patterns, including animals, flowers, all actually can be sculpted to the copper works. And also we could see that copper also cooperated with other materials, and also the melt copper also as a new material, also used for different piece. We talk about actually there are a lot of different categories, a different way of a presentation of a copper sculpture. So looking at ODs. This is something actually you can use for your day-to-day life. And for this one, it's not finished yet. Actually, this is made by just one whole piece of copper. And also, when it's finished, it can be considered as a veins. So there's no seam because it's just by keep knocking. It's normally need 4 to 5 days to knock to this shape. And also you need to make sure that you also melt it, because that after melt, so the copper will turn a little bit softer, so easy to knock. But also here you could see that's really different ways of copper products, different copper products. You could see that. Also here you could see that's the vase, but also have the pattern on it. So you could see that's really rich presentations of copper products. We talk about a copper sculpture actually with a very long history, as long as more than 1,000 years. We talk about mass. Right now, we not only keep ourselves sleeping on the traditional culture. Right now, we also make new innovation and also to bring more creative ideas and way of making to the copper sculpture, to copper products. We talk about we also got a lot of inspiration from architecture and also from other art forms. We talk about copper as a way of culture, and also the highly penetrated to our day-to-day life. So for this cutting-edge technology, we need to make sure that we really hands-on and also master this technique and also to carry forward this technique generations to generations. And I hope that the copper culture prospers and we could see more changes and also more the creative ideas in copper works. So that's for the copper world, and also hope to see more and more people to enjoy the beauty of the copper. Right, coming to our next stop of today's live streaming. Right now here we bring you this part from the Sakamuni Pagoda of Fogong Temple, and also have a nickname as Muta, or the timber pagoda. And this is also the oldest existence fully wooden pagoda still standing in China. So we talk about why it's have its nickname as timber pagoda. Let's find out in today's live streaming. Once again here, this is in Shanxi, and also it's called the Sakamuni Pagoda of Fogong Temple. And in Yin County of Shanxi province. And we talk about actually this is the very famous one, and it's a wooden Chinese pagoda built in 1046. So built during the Liao dynasty, so far it's more than 900 years. And the pagoda stands on a 4-meter tall stone platform, has a 10-meter tall steeple, and reached a total height of 67.31 meter tall. So in the octagonal shape, and also it has 4 mezzanine layers. So the pagoda features 54 different kinds of bracket arms in this construction. And between each outer story of the pagoda is the mezzanine layer, where the bracket arms are located on the exterior. So we talk about this all in the wooden structure, and we talk about there's no needle, no other things to make that the sticky one layer after another layer. We talk about this is the tenor and the construction. We talk about that this is a lot of use. at the structure of the wooden part. We talk about this is the really key part. We talk about there are once again that's 54 different kinds of bracket arms. So we talk about that's the mortise and tenon joint. So there's no nail used. So ODs actually is in that mortise and the tenon work. So the wall actually is not bearing load. The wall actually only to the against the wind and soil. And I hope our viewers can see that the birds, and that's the swallow, that's also the migrant birds, and normally visit this place and in the beginning of June. And also stay here to spend the time of summer. So actually stay inside. The pagoda we talk about is not really in the interior part. We talk about that's CA stationed for a short time and also not build nest. So for these migrant birds, actually protect the structure of the wooden architecture and also help to protect this pagoda, because actually these kind of the migrant birds actually eat the insects. And actually that insects stationed here also in these wooden architects, but that's not good to the structure of the pagoda. So the migrant bird help to clean all these insects. So we talk about this is actually typical mortise and tenon joint work. And also looking at that pagoda of Fogan Temple, that's also the oldest at the existence. Densely of the pagoda in China, and also here looking at that structure, and also let me show you what exactly means by a tenon and mortise work. So this is kind of like a base. So in a square shape. So place this to the base.
这一道，看我们来给大家介绍一下啊，所谓的斗拱啊，这个是叫一跳滑拱。什么叫拱呢？我们来看啊。
So we talk about this is a bracket arms. So this is a system of brackets inserted between the a top of a column and a cross beam.
这个通俗来说，这个就是拱。
So the pagoda features 54 different kinds of bracket arms in its construction.
三斗将这一道呢叫二跳滑拱。来看这个拱的结构，这一块有个弧形，包括后面这个也是有弧形的，这个就是叫也是拱。这个呢就是三跳滑拱，也是在拱与拱之间呢都是用这个斗来进行连接的。
So use the bracket arms to lock the additional brackets. And this is the a beam.
是方，我们来看，这个也是一个长条形，但是呢，这个是有弧度的，来看是有弧度的，而这个呢，就是一个长方体的一个样式，这就是方。它们呢也是有各自自己的名字。
So we talk about for each piece, they have their different names.
雕、檐、方，这是叫罗汉一方、罗汉二方，这个是叫柱头方。其实这个方呢，主要是承担着整个建筑水平方向的这个拉力。斗呢，更多的是承担着垂直方向的这个压力。
So we talk about that the a bracket arm system actually to strike the balance between the horizontal and vertical forces.
这个呢是柱子，可以说整个结构是就非常的稳定。那么在随后在上半部分。
So looking at this bracket system, actually very stable
这个上面叫
and also solid.
看一下，整个这个组件呢是在哪个部位呢？来，来拍
So let me tell viewers, let's back to that, a timber pagoda.
正直。我们来看，
Looking at
我们可以从左往右数，一共有5个，分别是拐弯处的大一点的，左边第2个，不是正中间的这个，左边正中间左边2侧的这个斗拱，就是我们刚刚拼起来的这个结构。然后我们再来看一下道具。
So you could find that quite similar. That's the 8 bracket arms in this construction. And we just make this one to talk about how the system works.
层呢就是有16个，一共有10层的斗拱结构，那就是一共是160个。可以说它这个结构在整座木塔中是非常多，也是非常关键。
We talk about this structure actually very important, and there are around 160 this kind of a system to build the whole pagoda.
木质结构啊，可以说是稳稳地结合在了一起。那其实像，大家也很想知道，像这样的斗拱，它需要日常的维护，或者是重新的拆装，或者是更新吗？
这个不会，因为它是
So for this system, actually, you do not need to really take it off and put a new one into it. Actually, just that keep at what it is. And also over the past 1,000 years, actually, it's a part of the whole piece of this pagoda.
那目前它这个状态，是采取
And also we put monitors on the pagoda and around it to keep a very close eye to see the tilt of the pagoda. So for the monitors also help us to keep a close eye to keep the pagoda because the wooden structures make sure it stay far away from the fire. And also we talk about drawn, also a big harm to this ancient structure. So once again, this is the Sakyamuni Pagoda of Fogou Temple of Yin County in Shanxi Province. It's a wooden Chinese pagoda built in 1056. And we're also coming to our next stop. So today is a very special day, and we're here in Hong Kong SAR to enjoy the beauty of Guqin. And also today is China's Cultural and Natural Heritage Day. We talk about Guqin, and also looking at this one is also more than 100 years. We actually put strings to it. We talk about string is very important, a part of this instrument. We talk about the Guqin as a Chinese musical instrument. And Mr. Tsai is also the inheritor of Guqin in Hong Kong SAR. Now we talk about why Guqin can be selected as the intangible cultural heritage. We talk about actually this is 7-string, a musical instrument. And we talk about this has traditionally been favored by scholars and literatures as instrument of a great subtlety and refinement, as highlighted by the quote, "A gentleman does not part with his qin or se without good reason." So it's also sometimes referred to by the Chinese as the father of Chinese music or the instrument of the sage. Lady is a fourth inheritor of Guqin. Right now she is cleaning Guqin. To bring the brightness to Guqin. So there are 9 steps to make one Guqin, one instrument. So first, you need to choose materials. What kind of material you want to choose? So this is a base material. So you need to choose a very hard one. It's a very hard wood. And then the face one, a little bit softer. And for the The age of the wood will also require that should be with a longer history.
师兄在外国掏回来的，已经超过了50年了，不止了。这是一张一所桥拆下来，根据造桥的记录，这块。
And this wood actually was more than 800 years.
拆下来摆在那地方超过50年。
就是它这个木头已经有800年，但是拆下来摆在这个地方已经50年。
可能。
就是这样一块品质的木头才能做一把好的古琴，是吗？
一般我们叫材料，我们叫做寻，就说的要寻一些最好的有年代的。
So it's not that very easily to meet this kind of really precious quality of wooden material. So first we look at the ear of the wood and also looking at the color. You look at it, it's totally dried. And also you need to knock it. So listen the sound.
这种声音呢，敲起来只有学过的你才知道，它这种声音是一种比较。
Still, we talk about only the insiders know exactly what sounds we're looking for.
没有那个板节。
板节，原来是这样，就我们就了解了一下这个选材方面的。那我们琴最重要还是有琴弦，那您能带我们听一下什么样的琴弦是好？
And also make sure that there's no harden.
听起来才是一把好琴呢。那我们这里呢，是蔡师傅。
And the wooden material. So this is the Guqin made by Mr. Tsai. So first you're looking at the shape, and more than that 30 kind of shape of Guqin. Once again, Guqin is a string instrument. It's with a 7 string. So for the color, you can also compare it to the color of piano.
声音好，那我们也马上请师傅给我们演示。
And also, after we're looking at the color, and also need to listen to the sound of Guqin. So that's the first sound. That's from the very first string at the top to the bottom. And then you use your both hands to listen to the sound.
怎么样为之音好呢？弹上去有回音，有润，有韵，有回音。然后呢，它的声音弹出来呢就很纯，很易。
So that's how to judge whether it's a good one. So you could really listen and heard that's the echo. So that after sound, very important.
要贴着，这样呢，它那个弦呢不会弹回来，这个手弹上去呢就弹上去呢就非常的悠闲。然后呢，没有杂音，
So looking at, and also you
弹上去它有沙音，
listen to the sound and there's no noise,
弹起来非常的纯，
very pure sound.
没有第二种、第三种音放回来。
And also make string that there's no rebound, because rebound also produce a noise.
点，轻轻点水，
点水就是这只手点水，然后在这拨。
对，对，
这就是半音。
手按下去。
第二个手按下去。这是比较短暂。最后一个是。
So we talk about the tones of a tin can be characterized as 3 characteristic sounds, and that's also the 3 sounds to check the quality of a guqin. So the first type is called san yin, which literally means that a scattered sound. And also the second one is called fan yin. So that's the a crisp sound, or the overtone harmonics. And the third one is 暗音, or changing sounds.
丁师姐您好，您好，您好。那您今天是会给我们观众朋友们演示一下这个古琴
And also we invite Master to play a song of Guqin to our viewers.
美妙的琴音。
So we're coming to our next stop here in Huaihua of Hunan province. And also we talk about here is also the Miao minorities, ethnic minorities, a lot of people living in this place, and also looking at them wearing Miao a costume. So what I'm holding, and this is a grapefruit. So this is, of course, not sold in the market, but actually this one is a very, very important one to bring the people out of poverty. And we talk about actually one of the key skills also entered to the national and heritage cultural and heritage list. We talk about actually we choose this a premature grapefruit.
朋友们，大家好，我是晋州雕花蜜饯的第3代传人唐燕。
So we talk about actually why this is very important. We talk about this one very important, the intangible heritage item, where the skill is a carving pattern on these grapefruit. So we normally used to choose these the immature one, because that immature one actually give us a lot of room to make carving. So looking at actually the cutting pieces, there are different way of cutting it. So this is a horizontal cutting. So maybe give our viewers a very close look at how ladies are making these carvings.
现在我师傅手上正在雕刻的是那个凤系牡丹这样的一个作品。
And making, you're looking at this shape, this is the A Chinese, this is the A pointy.
中间还有这个绿色的点缀，这是填充进去还是？不是原本留在内部的。那我看到朱老师他这个我们的这个刀好像也特别的比较好，有什么其他的补充吗？
And this is also a special knife that's designated for this carving work.
哎，对对对，而且它的刀身是特别特别的。
So you could see that's a very, very thin knife.
乍看一下的话，你是分不清楚刀刃和刀背的。还有就在握刀上面，它也是有讲究的。这
And this is, use your 3 fingers to hold
我们的大拇指和
this knife.
刀身，中指抵住刀背，然后我们整个雕的过程当中呢，我们是一个往前推的。
So you could see that just moving your knife forward.
在这里，这个刀法也有讲究的，比如像我现在在雕的这个就是一个旋刀法，然后旋刀法旋出它的花心，现在有一个斜刀法，现在是我要雕出这个作品的花蕾。
So we talk about a flower pot. The flowers, OD is actually in a different technique of the kniffing. We talk about that the cutting technique is all different.
这也就是我们有好的这个技艺，同时也有好的工具。那您给我们介绍介绍，除了这个瓣状的这些雕花蜜饯之外，我们还有什么其他的形制？
我们还有立体的、惯形的，还有类似于这种圆形的。
圆形的，它是用作一个什么样的场景呢？
这里呢，像这种。
So looking at this is in round the shape. So we talk about like wedding ceremony. Actually, this is a lot of these kind of the work actually you can find in a wedding ceremony, and also in round shape. A round shape is also actually it means a full success.
我们了解到咱们既具有这个实用性，也具有观赏性。刚刚我们了解看到的这一部分，它是能够这个在茶杯里面泡出汤水进行喝的，包括还有摆盘的。那您接下来给我们介绍这个更加复杂。
So we talk about actually is not only for decoration, also actually we can use as a tea cup. So you can enjoy some teas also inside this kind of the grapefruit. And also here we have that this 3 kind of the really 3-dimensional pattern works. You can see that the flowers,
这个作品我总共花
fish, lotus.
最满意的就是这尾金鱼。
金鱼啊，您跟我们提一提哈，这个金
So this is a goldfish. So and this is also my proud piece.
最满意的，其实我觉得也是最难。
The really tough part actually is the tail part of the goldfish. We talk about that's the most highlighting part, whether that goldfish is really has life into it or not, depends on the tail.
斜刀法，而不是刚刚那个短的。在这里每一刀下去，它都是有一个。
And also to make sure it's not a straight cutting curve.
它是直的，在这里我是每一刀它都是由浅。
And also make sure that the line actually is from the surface and to a deeper level. So looking at the tail part, and also we talk about actually that color also changed. So the body of the golden fish is in a dark green and the tail is a light green.
这样就能够让这个
just by this very thin knife could make that color degradation. And also here is lotus. So that's also the hollow structure in the middle. And also really the challenging part should be that petal. And also the thickness of the petal should be the same. We talk about it's not just a very simple that the carving skill, and actually you're looking at, we talk about also has a name as the preserved fruit or the sweet meat. We talk about first you have the shape, right, and later on you bring that flavor to the workpiece. So looking at the potatoes and also like a cucumber. But we talk about why we choose the grapefruit as the base, as the raw material. We talk about actually is a very easy and also provide that a good stiffness to make all this carving. And also when we put to the boiler, you could see this is a finished work after carving. First, we put that into a clean boiled water. So there should be no oil inside this water. Should be really, really clear and purified water. And we also place some, that's the brass at the bottom to make sure that we keep the shape very stiff. And also to keep the color really vivid and fresh. So actually you could see that after boiled, it's really like jade. It's like transparent. And also like a jade material, jade look. But we talk about it can be enjoyed later on. So we later on will go to the preserved stage. So we will of course put honey into it. And also how to arrange all this boiled work, also very important. Make sure that during that preserving process, its a shape should not be changed. We talk about that. We talk about that. A carved sweet meat. So it can really put it into the teacup and go along with the tea. And it keeps its original taste, say a grapefruit, but also give you additional very sweet a sweet taste that's from the honey, from other fruit, other vegetable, and also taste a very slice of mint. And we talk about that in summertime. It's very good to have a cup of grapefruit tea with mint. So that's with honey, with mint, and also with very fresh grapefruit taste. So we're looking like this is a whole process of making that a grapefruit-based the sweet meat. We talk about that this is really eye-catching and also surprise work. So you can get a lot of different shape based on that the immature grapefruit, and then will be preserved in honey and also in other fruit or vegetable to have additional layer of smell and taste. And we're looking at all these. Actually, you can find across different social media platforms to buy this kind of products. We talk about actually this is not just a intangible cultural heritage. It's not just keep itself as a skill. Right now, actually, it's also a best-selling items online. And also, we talk about we not only sell online, we also actually work with the different buyers. So these buyers will come to the village to buy directly these kind of the works from a local household. So we talk about in 2 months, each household can get 3,000 RMB paid. So this is a really good income for a local household. And also we talk about transportation, also bring the additional benefits to local villages. We have, look at this, it's a very not a niche skill, but with large market and also tremendous market needs there. Hi to all the viewers, and we are coming to our next stop here of our live streaming once again. Today is China's cultural and natural heritage, and here is Luoyang with quite rich intelligent cultural heritage, and here is also with profound history. And what we're doing here, we will look at the process of making tan tricolor glazed ceramics. So we talk about this actually reflects the state of the art skills of the glazed pottery. So we will talk more about how to make and fairing or burn a tricolor glazed ceramics. So we talk about this name. back to 1903. So a large number of tri-color glazed ceramic were found here in Luoyang. So we talk about a frequent seen colored is the yellow, green, and white, but actually there are more than 3 colors. And Luoyang actually is the place first found the color. We talk about a type of glazed pottery with the dominant colors of yellow, brown, and green, were very popular in Tang Dynasty. And it was later called a tri-colored glazed pottery of the Tang Dynasty or Tang Sancai. So we talk about with the development and improvement of processing skill. You could see there are a lot of products of that the tri-color glazed pottery. And here is the raw material. So this is kind of the kaolin. It's kind of a mineral, and that's a raw material, as a must-need material to make tri-colored glazed pottery, and this is the perfect raw material. So you're looking at this oriental color is gray, but after burning, actually turned the color to white. We talk about the color combination. You're looking at these. So these powder, actually to show you that what kind of colors you want. And these are the oxides. And after burning, to show you different colors. So the Tang tri-colored glazed pottery is a low melting glazed pottery. It was made by adding metallic oxides to the colored glaze. And the calcining twice the object to create different colors. We talk about the chemicals in the glaze change gradually in the fairing process, so that present the effect with a majestic and elegant attraction. And here coming to the process. So looking at this horse first, for all different patterns, you first need to carve it first. So this is first carve the clay, and then through the fairing process. So after first time of calcining, it turned to white color. So you actually bring the different part of the horses assembled together. So after a first round of the cat signing, and it's cooled down, and then wait for the second time of a card signing. The first time is to keep the temperature around 1,100 degrees, and it depends on the size of the item. And for the larger one, of course, needs a longer time. So that's around 36 hours to 72 hours based on the size. And looking at this is after the second calcining. Looking at its stronger in destiny and strength. And also to color it. So we talk about you put the color and then go through the fairing process, and fairing temperature around 700 to 1,000 degree. And then we'll have that a tricolor. So black and blue actually are two most expensive color. So we talk about actually there's one element inside these two colors, actually very, very expensive. That's the cobaltous oxide. So that's the cobaltous oxide, very expensive. That is why color black and the color blue most the expensive one. And also actually originally this cobaltous oxide actually could not produce at home. That should be imported from the Silk Road. And also you could see here now actually from this the figure of a person, and also looking at a lot of these different elements also show that a lot of culture actually is a foreign culture. That also show you that there's a very, very prosperous people to people and cultural and trade exchange happened back then. And also you could see that the instruments. We talk about the spice and the pepper, originally all introduced from the Silk Road. And we also talk about that the tricolored glaze pottery, also very famous worldwide. And there are more than 1,000 the shapes. We talk about, you can find that the pottery and with the horses and figure and people and also camels. These are the 4 biggest categories. You're looking at all these 2 horses, they're in the same shape, but you're looking at the color on their body. So you're looking at that, the yellow lead or the lead oxide, that's the naturally formed. And looking at this one as the cultural relics, so right now we found 2 cultural relics. One in the total brown color, one in the total white. looking at this decoration and also show that this should be enjoying the a high standard or the high level or the high-ranking officials or the imperial families ride this kind of horses. But you're looking at in Tang Dynasty, the shape of the horse is like a very, very short tail, very small height, but a strong and wide neck and body. So we talk about that why the tail is actually tied up. Actually, we talk about one that for the war purpose, and the other one is actually people back in Tang Dynasty also play polo. So for the horses, easy to move in a very agile way. It also tied up the tail. Looking at this different figure. Looking at this is with a very strong Tang feature. We talk about the Tang Dynasty and the women enjoying very high social standards and also very open-minded. And also could see that the dog has also that's a gift presented by other countries. Also to talk about that, the pay a tribute to the empire. So we talk about the faith. Actually, we keep as it is, and we're looking at the color, and we also can see that the same process also used in the cultural relics